Welcome back. It's time for episode 3, The Return of the Great Departed Soul.
The grand end of the century great exhibition of London. Surely there is not a soul who has failed to hear of it. Wondrous new works of culture and industry from every corner of the globe had converged on Hyde Park, welcoming over 50 million visitors. The last great hurrah of this century. Astonished and delighted people of all nations, and ended on a note of resounding success. But as regards to the terrible catastrophe that occurred during the festivities, very few are aware my friend Mr. Herlock Sholmes had a hand in unraveling the matter. For from the shadows, it was he who earnestly unearthed the facts of the case. And like the centerpiece of the great exhibition, which rose high into the skies of Hyde Park, Sholmes's brilliant deductions, as clear and lofty as the crystal tower itself, brought the truth to light.
Was it a balloon at the top, maybe?
We're here at the showground of the Great Exhibition, which is absolutely packed with people.
Packed with people.
The weather is unusually fine, and we're about to witness a most extraordinary scientific experiment.
It is interesting, because there was a great exhibition in London at Hyde Park. Again, wasn't with a great tower. It's very much like the Crystal Palace was there. But it's just strange because it's a case of the Crystal Palace was moved from there to where the Crystal Palace is now. Well, where the area known as Crystal Palace is. That there's a park there where, you know, it burnt down. But it's just interesting. Like every other detail is correct, apart from the fact there's a tower. It's just very strange.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 20th century will see steam engines and electrical power dominate the world.
So is the plan to move it to a different park? Eventually? Again, within this world, because it's slightly askewed from ours. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, where, like, because maybe real history will come into this, and I could use that in terms of the trials, the deductions, all that kind of thing.
Horse-drawn carts will give way to the motor car. Ships will sprout wings and take to the skies. And today, we showcase even more advanced technology, a glimpse into the future. A world first, a demonstration of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine!
Alright.
A man will literally be disassembled by a pulse of high voltage electricity and beamed to another location. Whereupon his body will be reassembled by a series of complex calculations exactly as it was before.
What is gonna happen?
In but a few moments from now.
I tell you, it's very strange playing this and it's got voice acting. Like, this is a big chunk of voice acting right here. It's very weird.
This gentleman will, in the blink of an eye, complete an incredible journey through the air. To arrive an instant later on the Crystal Tower behind you!
This one, yes. Woo!
I wonder if this is meant to be something to do with Faraday? Because I know Faraday went to the Great Exhibition. In the real world, anyway. So 22nd of October, 9:36 a.m. Shlom's Suite. Yeah?
Bruno, are you listening?
Oh, sorry, what was that, Iris?
What's the matter with you? You've been miles away all morning. Didn't you like what I cooked for breakfast?
No, that's not it at all. What were we talking about again?
Today's paper is full of news about the Great Exhibition again.
Ah, yes. The Great Exhibition. I'd like to go sometime. We don't have big events like this anymore, do we? Like, huge events. It's a shame. We have, like, museums and little things like it. But huge world, like, altering events of this scale, I don't remember one. That just shows off, like, you know, works and... Because the Great Exhibition for this time in the real world was the Industry of All Nations, was it? Which is just showing off, like, the latest technology in all nations. Or maybe we do have them, but they're just so... mundane. We don't have them on the... I think it's the grandeur, the scale, the fun. We don't really have that anymore, do we? Or maybe I'm just wrong. I don't know. Muse amongst yourselves. Figure it out amongst yourselves, like whether or not I'm right there, or I'm just completely wrong. Or if there is events and I've just missed them completely. If there is, link them, please.
You're really not your usual self today. You seem very down. Don't you agree, Early?
Oh, speaking of down. Did you say something, Iris?
Oh gosh, you're even more down.
Like how the music just stops from like, oh, alright. When did you arrive, Mr. Naruhodo? I've been here for about half an hour already. We had breakfast together. What? Why didn't you mention it before? I, thought you might have known I was here? You know, because... breakfast? Iris is quite right. You're clearly lacking in vim and vigor, apparently. So, much so that I didn't notice your presence, even during breakfast. Thanks. Of course, I could deduce the reason perfectly well with some simple observations. What? Let's see, yes, for example, your tousled hair this morning with all its unruly spikes. Clearly it can be deduced, therefore, that... let me stop you there, Mr. Sholmes, because I think I can see where this is going. My hair always looks like this. It always has. Ever since we first met, in fact. Oh, really? How interesting. It just doesn't look like a haircut as such, I suppose. Yes. Thanks again. It crossed my mind recently. It's been 6 months now.
6 months?
Since I was forbidden from working in court. So I've been wondering how much longer I'm going to be banned.
Oh. Well, that would explain why you seem rather glum. Don't you agree, Hurley?
He's back again. Did you say something, Iris? Back to moping. Sorry, mopping. Back to mopping. What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes today? He seems even more down in the dumps than me.
I know. And the Great Exhibition is opened. You'd think he'd be excited. Oh, why don't we all go see it together?
I want to, of course I do. But I can't. Not for the time being. Why not? Why not? Why not? Because I'm a great detective after all. So you're embroiled in some tricky case that you can't be distracted from? Is that it?
I don't remember hearing that you're working on a case, Hurley. I suppose I should try to find out what's going on. Alright, let's converse. Event 6 months ago. Half a year ago now. It's apparently a flashback. Alright. I took on the defense of a young girl in a trial heard at the Old Bailey. What at first seemed like a simple case of murder that took place at London pawnbrokery turned out to be one part of a much far-reaching plot that involved the British government. During the course of the trial, it was found that I made an unavoidable, yet at the same time unforgivable mistake. Words fail me. This situation is utterly deplorable. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, my lord? I will decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial. Of course, my lord. What happened? In the end, I had my right to represent people in court revoked. I was told I had to spend my time in research and study. So that's what I've been doing. You have, haven't you, Runa? Reading all those big fat tomes about British law up in your room. And the notes about Shlom's old cases. Brewing Iris's special blends of tea. Fetching my daily bread for me. You've become something of a manservant around here. Start on the silverware next, Master Naruhodo. Well, I'm thinking of going to ask the powers that be to reconsider. Specifically Lord Stronghart at the British Supreme Court on Whitehall. Lord Stronghart? Ah, the delightful Lord Chief Justice. Not my favourite fellow. He's not mine either. But he's the man I have to talk to. He's the only one who can grant permission for me to start working in the courts again. Came to Britain to become the best lawyer I could. And I can't do that just sitting around here. Alright, the Great Exhibition. The Gloomy Mood is one I want to look at, but, you know. The whole of London has been swept up in this Great Exhibition, hasn't it? The most advanced science, the most modern technology, the finest works of art and feats of engineering. For the next 6 months, our capital will be showcasing these things, and the world will be watching. I suppose we've sort of replaced that kind of thing with like the Olympics or the World Cup. Although, you know, the World Cup at the moment, very shady stuff going on there. I'd recommend, if you can, it depends on what country you're in or if you have a VPN, all I'm saying. Check John Oliver's video about the World Cup in Qatar. I'd recommend you do that. It's very much like this is like for those in the future, it's World Cup 2022. It's very much a case of like, normally I have a passing interest in the World Cup in the sense of like, oh, I'll watch all the games for England. You know, that's the country I'm from. Like UK as well. I'm British as well as English. For those who don't know. Hard to explain to those who don't know how it works over here. But anyway, so, yeah, Wales are in it as well. Not supporting them because it's not the country I'm from, even though they're British. Scotland aren't in it. Yeah. Anyway, so, normally I have a passing interest, like the Euro tournament, the Euros, last year. Fantastic. I love that. That was so much fun to have that kind of event after COVID. All that type of stuff. It was absolutely fantastic. Like the country coming together is a bit of fun. Going down the pubs and stuff like that. You know, all fun. Fun times. The World Cup this year. No one seems to care. And I think it's kind of related to where it's being held, to be honest. There's such weird shadiness around it where it's like, I'll check on the games, I'll keep an eye on them, see how we do, all that type of stuff, but it's like, I don't really have that much of an interest, and I don't know anybody around me that normally would, that has much of an interest. Again, go watch the John Oliver video, and you'll have a better understanding of what I'm talking about. You'll obviously have to, in the future, check it against the date to see on the videos on YouTube, because it's on YouTube, by the way. But again, if you're outside America, you may need a VPN. Anyway, for the next 6 months, our capital will be showcasing these things and the world will be watching.
Oh, do you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to look down on London from one of those very, very lovely balloons.
That would be kind of nice, yeah. Look down on? Do you mean those things fly?
Yes, of course. They fly high in the sky and don't even need wings to do it. All you need is hot air. And we're hurling around, we got a lot of that.
But how? How does hot air have anything to do with flying? Makes no sense. Do the Japanese not have lanterns? Of some sort? I mean, I know the Chinese did. I'm thinking back at this point in time. It's like, surely they know about them. Surely they'd understand the concept of hot air rising, put something over it, it makes it float. I suppose a weight underneath? I don't know, because I'm not from that time period, so I don't know, like, worldviews around the place and how people understood things, so... I can't understand it at all.
That's true of a lot of new scientific discoveries. Most people can't understand them at first. But in 100 years' time, all these things will just be common knowledge.
Too true. I suppose they might be.
Mind you, some of the science being demonstrated seems very questionable. Something went wrong on the open experimentation stage yesterday, apparently. There was a huge explosion. Still, I wish I'd seen it, though. I'd love to see how bad some of these scam experiments really are.
Says the innocent 10-year-old girl.
She is, like, genuinely, it's like...
I like the fact... I'm going to be speaking, about, like, gender politics and stuff like that. I'll just warn you ahead of time. But it's a nice thing. It's very much this case of, like... I've always pointed out... There is an issue with, like, our education system globally. Like, I'm not saying, like, universally globally. Just many places across the globe. I'm not going to name them all. Globally is what I mean by that. Just so you know. Right. We'll get into this. This episode, like, in this... this game has really sparked up a lot of talking points for me. I don't know why. But... So... Yeah. Something I'm liking about this game is you've got... let's get her up on screen while we actually talk about it. Let's talk about her. Iris. So Iris here, 10 years old, an extraordinary young girl who lives with Mr. Shlomes. She has a degree in medicine and is an author of a popular series of short stories published in a prominent magazine. Now, I've always pointed out there is an issue with our education system, and I've seen videos on it. I've been aware of it because I've gone through the education system. This is very much like a thing in the UK for sure. And I know it is elsewhere as well. The girls are not pushed towards stuff like engineering, being a doctor. Like the really, really sort of like rocketry and stuff like that. It's just, they're almost discouraged, and it's very, very disappointing is the best way of putting it. It's like all these great minds that we could have in all these fields are not pushed when they show an aptitude towards that kind of thing. But that's not really the point I want to get onto. It's just like tangentially towards what I'm getting at here. And it's very much like, it's nice to see a young girl represented as being smart, clever, and just like, yep, just treated as normal. Just treated as normal. It's like, it's nice. It's nice. Because it should be. It should be. Anyway, Divergent. See here, every page of this paper carries some article or other about the Great Exhibition. But the brighter things shine, the darker the shadows that are cast behind them. Personally, I find myself drawn to the darkness, to the impenetrable. That is my proper atmosphere. Great Exhibition newspaper has been entered into the court record, a newspaper containing various articles about the world-leading science and technology on show at the Great Exhibition being held in London. Shadows cast behind. Is that a metaphorical way of referring to the back page of the paper? Maybe he's giving us a hint here then. Ah, okay. So many glowing reports about the Great Exhibition and everything that's going on there. Other than this rather gloomy looking one, that is. That lost cat. Oh no. Wait, what? What's the matter, Bruno? Ruffians aim to immediate a man of justice. Uh-huh. The Reaper attacked. That's Lord Van Zykes. This must be what Mr. Shlomes was talking about. There's Altamont Gas Company there. French court hears glass eye case. The Judipe of Nuele was presented today with a most curious case of a lady who refused to pay her dues for the purchase of one glass eye. The whole affair began when Madame Ployette, the defendant, ordered the eye as a replacement of the natural eye she had lost. Upon its arrival, she found that she could see no more with it than she could before, and became incensed at the thought of paying for a deficient product. The Judipa attempted to reason with the madam, something, but the endeavor proved to be, well, we don't know the rest. Fiery ball gown sets dance hall ablaze. Oh my. Does he know any more, I wonder? I kind of want to know more about those articles, but alright. Let's have a look at the front then. Every article on the front page is news about the Great Exhibition. Public experiments to demonstrate brand new scientific ideas. Cultural exhibits from around the globe. It's all so positive and hopeful about the coming century. We must all go to see it properly before too long. Yes, we should. We're not going to look at the first test of a meta transport device? Nothing? Alright. Very well. Ah. Your gloomy mood. Are you investigating a particularly tricky case at the moment, Mr. Shlomes? You could say that, I suppose. Nothing more to add. That's not like you. What sort of case is it? Shush! Quiet, Mr. Naruhodo. We must not discuss it here. You never know who might be listening. You're acting very strange, Hurley. What do you mean, Iris? Well, usually, the more mysterious and complicated a case is, the better Hurley's mood. Ah. Yeah, that's giving you away there, isn't it, mate? Is it really a case that's bothering you? Iris, please, you mustn't exercise your astute powers of observation and deduction on me without invitation. Remember what I always say. Put yourself in the shoes of the individual about whom you're making deductions. You say that, do you? You, Mr. Shlomes? Never mind. Once I've had a cup of tea, I must make my way at once to the crime scene. That was a deep sigh. Alright, the Reaper attacked. It says in the paper that Lord Van Zykes was attacked. That's terrible. You know the legend of the Reaper of the Bailey, of course, don't you? Only too well, in fact. Yes, Prosecutor Baruch Van Zykes. They say that if the Reaper is the prosecutor in a case, there's no salvation for whoever's in the dock. Even if the defendant is found not guilty. Once the Reaper has someone in his sights, one way or another, that person's time left on this earth will be short. London's finest rogues always find ways around the law. They'll stop at nothing to secure an acquittal at trial. Falsifying evidence, paying sham witnesses, threatening jurors, bribing judges. But even such devious tactics as these cannot save them from the hand of the Reaper. As you've experienced yourself, haven't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I've seen the Reaper's retribution at work. Many of these criminal rogues are reckless and quite unafraid to die. If a leader among their fraternity is seen to have been taken by the Reaper, retaliation like this does occur. Really, the capital has never-ending supply of such scandals. So, do you mean Lord Van Zykes has been attacked like this before? This isn't the first time? He's quite an accomplished combatant, you know. He doesn't take these attacks lying down. Although, it seems that his assailants were armed with guns this time. Oh my goodness, is he alright then? Is Lord Van Zykes hurt? My dear fellow, how on earth would I know? Well, in the article here it says, as to what of Lord Van Zykes and his condition, all will be revealed in tomorrow's morning edition. Oh no. Ah, I see. Well, we shall have to be patient then. No. I can't wait until tomorrow. In that case, you shall have to inquire with somebody in the know. But who? Lord Stronghart, perhaps? Oh. Off we pop. Oh. Well, I must be leaving now. Yes, understood. See you later, Mr. Shlomes. Ha! You really are a shameless liar sometimes, my dear fellow. What? You seek to put me off my guard and follow me, don't you? Well, you'll be wasting your time. The thought hadn't crossed my mind, but now I'm wondering where you're going. Well then, see you later indeed. Listen to him. He's still laughing on his way out of the door. Oh my. Alright then, Bruno. Let's get going. Oh, Iris, what are you wearing? I've got change to go to the Great Exhibition. You're going to take me. What? But I was just about to go to the Supreme Court. Oh, well that sounds fun too. You're going to take me there then. Alright, fine. Just lower that weapon, would you? Of course. And after the Supreme Court, then we'll go to see the Great Exhibition. Alright, let's move on over. New location has been added. There she is. You know, I think a visit to this place could be a great idea. Lord Chief Justice Office. Oh my. 22nd of October. British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's Office. It's been about 6 months now since I was last here, but some things never change, like the sense of foreboding I always seem to feel in this place. Alright. It doesn't seem to be bothering Iris at all, though. She's happily reading over there. Oh, I love this place. I always find so many interesting books here. Of course. I was forgetting that you've been here before. Time we came here 6 months ago. When Susato-san was given the news that she was to return to Japan. Ah, I understand you wish to speak with me. Oh, Lord Stronghart. I trust you've been keeping well? Let's see. Since you arrived and requested an audience, it's been 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 26 seconds. I've kept you waiting a while, my apologies. Oh, no, not at all. I like nothing more than standing around staring into space. Good to know. Good to know that doesn't appear to bother him at all. Okay. My old Stronghart, Lord Chief Justice of London. He's the man who allowed me to start practicing as a defense lawyer when I arrived in Britain as a student. You need only savor the air for a moment in this grand office to understand his preeminent status. As you will be aware, the Great Exhibition of London is now underway at last. We're extremely busy as a result, policing the grounds, guarding the new technologies, dealing with petty crime. And furthermore, as of next month, we shall open the International Forensic Science Symposium. Oh, I've not heard about that. Investigating authorities from 40 countries around the globe will be taking part, including from your own land. Forensic science is the future. The world must embrace it. As we're the hosting nation, I have much to do. And it is my highest priority. If others must wait for my attention as a result, so be it. Well, it's nice to know where I stand. So, you wish to consult with me? Of course, I can very well imagine what this is about. Oh, well, thank you for agreeing to this meeting, my lord? I want to be allowed to start working as a defense lawyer again in court. That's what brought me here today. But actually, there's something else playing on my mind as it happens. Bruno, just take a deep breath and come out with it. Well, let's take a deep breath and come out with it in the next part. Ta-da for now.